What's up, UXers? I recently had a question about the difference between shapeshifters and broken objects. And I randomly, there you go, you can see my search history. These are wonderful books, guys. B12, also a good vitamin. We're going to search for that in a second. Oh, no, we just searched for an echo dot. Anyways, so the difference between a shapeshifter and a broken object. So a broken object is a type of shapeshifter, but it's just even worse because it's where you're seeing something maybe on a module and then on a detail page, and it's not matching up. So you might have the metadata on the module, but then not on the detail page, or it's not in the same place. Or you might be looking at two modules, and not only are the attributes shuffled around or displayed differently, but they also might just not even be there. So you might have one attribute on module A, but then you look at this exact same object represented from a different module, and then that attribute is no longer there. So here is a really great example of this. So let's go ahead and search for B12 again. And I think this is a bug. I don't think this is always there. So let's I'm looking at this one. Where are my star ratings? So you can see when we're looking at the module and the search results, we can see it right underneath the title. So basically, as far as the structure of this thing, we have an image, we have a title, and then we have star rating. Okay. When I'm looking at vitamins and I'm looking at the stars, when I'm looking at anything, I'm looking at the stars. It's one of the most important things. So, okay, so image, and let's just take a screenshot of this. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Okay. And we jump in here, and I would expect the star rating to be right underneath the title because that's where it was in the module. So I'm going to expect it to have the same hierarchy. Why would it move around? And it looks so to talk about the difference between a shapeshifter and a what were we talking about? A broken object. That a shapeshifter might do something like move the star rating down here. So it's still there. It's just in a different place. The prioritization has changed completely arbitrarily. So it might take me a minute to find it. This is a broken object because all my stuff isn't here. All the data about this product is not encapsulated. It's broken. It's distributed throughout the application. It's distributed throughout this platform. So if I want to see the star rating, I have to go to search results. So I really think that this is actually a bug right now, or maybe they're doing some weird A/B testing. I don't know. But let's look at something else. So let's look at a book. So you could already see my search results. So for the ladies out there, this is a great book. Okay, would recommend it to every single woman. Every single woman. It's very important to understand how your body works. Okay, so we can see. Interestingly enough, so they're separating. So for a different type of product, they have the title and then the author. And then the star rating. I would keep it consistent. I mean, I would still put the star rating right underneath the title and just make that consistent all the time. So that to me is still like kind of a shapeshifter. So they have product objects, and depending on what type of product, they're moving the data around. So which could be confusing for somebody, especially if the differences between the product types are not, I mean, you don't want things moving around just because it's a book versus a bottle of vitamins. I don't necessarily want the structure of the thing to change. It needs to have a very, very good reason for it to change. So I would keep it the same here. But anyway, so let's click into here. And so for here, I'm still getting my ratings. Is this just on medication? Let's just search something else random. Okay, so I was looking at, what are these? Mushroom chips. Let's look at jackfruit chips. So good. If you guys haven't had them, I might actually buy some. Okay, so these are super tasty. Sponsor. Let's just go down to, okay, so these only have 3.5 stars. So they're here. So is it just the vitamins? Okay, let's look at this probiotic that I have in my cart. So here let's click in here. No star ratings. All right, now I'm just trying to figure out, is it just like broken toe boot? What did I write from just putting a broken object in the there we go. Brain working. Okay. So if I'm looking at probiotics and I click into the probiotic, it's like it's showing. So here it's showing by the brand. So, okay. So that kind of makes sense that you'd have the title and then by the brand in the same way that you could do it by the author. So we can kind of like switch out. If it's a book, it can be the author. If it's a product, having the brand. I kind of like that because if it's a book, it probably won't have a brand. You don't really care about the publisher. But it's like who created this thing. And then you would have the title, who created the thing, and then the star rating. But for some reason, when I was looking at B12, even though it did have a brand, where it didn't show up right underneath the title. So if I look at, Nature's Wonder, that's the brand. It shows it here. What was the one that I was clicking on before? Nature's Bounty. Nothing. All right. So this is most likely a bug right now in Amazon, I'm guessing. Now, here's the other thing here. So if it's by nature, if on the detail page, they deemed to say by Nature's Bounty, like important enough to put it right underneath the title, why isn't it right underneath the title here and making it a link? Now, maybe it's because like, okay, they didn't want to put these two links so close to each other, but there's better ways to design this thing so that your structure on the module and your structure on the detail page are the same, that you're prioritizing it the same way, you're showing the same data, unless, again, you have a really good reason not to. So what I would love to see Amazon do is have title, star rating. So break up the star rating because the star rating isn't really, is it clickable? No, it just has the fly out. And then right underneath have the author or the brand. So and then that brand or author can be clickable. So I didn't think with the book that Sarah was clickable. Oh, and I'm not in the right department. Whatever. There we go. It'll get me there. So, and I know that she has other books. So, okay. So she's clickable here. Okay, so she's clickable. Yeah. I think it would be really great to put the star rating in between and then put the author or brand underneath that and actually make that clickable on the module. Because if I want to go see Sarah Godfrey, like why do I need to click into here and then click through here to see Sarah Godfrey's stuff. So she looks totally different in all of these pictures. Anyways, so hopefully that helps to explain the difference between a shapeshifter and a broken object. The important thing is just stay consistent as much as possible. Again, unless you have a very, very good reason to shift things around. And if you are shifting things around, make sure that you are testing it and you're not confusing your users. You have a better, you have kind of more leeway in shifting things around if you're designing a power tool, something that people are in all the time, something that people are trained on, something that people have time to kind of learn the idiosyncrasies and learn that, okay, like it totally makes more sense in this context to have this piece of metadata higher up, and I can learn that it's different here. And in this context, that piece of metadata is lower down in priority or maybe even not there. Then that's okay if you have a product that people are using day in and day out, and there's just a really, really good reason and solid research behind moving these things around. But as a rule of thumb, and when in doubt, stay consistent. Decide what the best prioritization of your attributes are and keep that prioritization consistent wherever that object is represented.